I think that a lot of the issue we have in the state is about what our priorities are. And I did not vote for the most recent state budget because I didn't agree with many of the priorities contained within. I did not like, for instance, that the aid to my towns was cut at the same time we were spending money to bail out the city of Hartford. And for that reason, Mr. Chairman, I want to offer another amendment that I believe is more inclined to ensure the safety of our citizens, and particularly students in school, than the banning of bump stocks. A crime has never been committed in the state of Connecticut. No one has ever been convicted of a crime using a bump stock. And we have the opportunity right now, right here, to actually fund things that would make a difference. We can get the program that helps get illegal guns out of our cities into law. We could do it right now. We can also provide grants to towns so they can have school resource officers to protect their students. And we can provide for some actual effort on mental health so that we can maybe take the dangerous mass shooter type person off the street if the time comes. My amendment that I will distribute, like the last one, is identical, except that this time the funding source to pay for school resource officers, fund the statewide trafficking task force, and the mental health beds, is to defund the bailout that we provide for the city of Hartford. And I make a motion that this be adopted, and I'd like a roll call vote, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Okay, at this point in time, I believe the committee has the amendment number B. Any further discussion? Chairman Tong.
Mr. Chairman, as with the last amendment, I don't think this is really germane to the purpose of the underlying bill, and I urge a no vote on this amendment.
Thank you. Any further comment from the committee? Seeing none. Okay, I would ask the administrator to call a roll call vote on Amendment B.
Doyle. No. Kissel.
Yes.
Tong.
No.
Winfield.
No.
McLaughlin.
Yes.
Stavstrom.
No.
Verbimbis.
Yes.
Albus.
No.
Berger.
No.
Berthel.
Yes.
Candelora.
Yes.
Carpino. Conley. Curry.
No.
Cummings.
Yes.
Dillon. Dubitsky.
Yes.
Flexer.
No.
Fox.
No.
Giordano.
No.
Godfrey. Gomes.
No.
Gonzalez. Harding.
Yes.
Wong. Labriola.
Yes.
Markley.
Yes.
McCrory. McGordy.
Yes.
Morris.
No.
Representative Dillon. No. Thank you.
No.
Thank you.
Carpino, yes.
O'Day.
Yes.
O'Neill.
Yes.
Porter. Riley.
No.
Sampson.
Yes.
Sarah.
No.
Smith.
Yes.
Srinivasan.
Yes.
Storms.
Yes.
Suzio.
Yes.
Walker.
No. Porter. And Carpino, yes.
Okay, at this point, I'd ask the clerk to please announce the tally.
On Amendment B, 39 members voting, yea 19, nay 20, 0 abstentions, absent not voting 2.
Thank you. Amendment fails. Moving on, Representative Sampson, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I appreciate the committee offering me the time that it has, and I am going to wrap up very quickly. I just have a couple of quick comments, and I will offer one final amendment, and we will be able to vote on the bill or let others speak to it. I just want to remind people how I started this conversation, complaining that I believe the bill before us is about politics. And I'm sorry that it's come to this. I think that that debate is frankly beneath us. We owe it to our constituents to do better. You know, people came here and rallied at the Capitol a couple of weeks ago, and I talked to some of them. And they weren't here because they wanted to ban bump stocks. They were here because they want us, Republicans and Democrats, to work together to make our state a safer place. That's what they want. And it might be easy to put out a sound bite that says this or that person voted no against bump stocks or this and that, and they don't care. That's baloney. No one in this room wants to see another murder or mass shooting in any way. No one wants to see anyone do anything to commit a horrible crime with a gun. And if that kind of dialogue continues, I fear for this body and our ability to work together to ever do anything that is productive for the citizens of this state. The amendments I just offered, I'm sorry they failed because they would have made our state safer. Those were legitimate things that need to happen. School resource officers in schools will save lives. When and if it happens, someone goes to a school, they will be stopped. It happened just recently in another state. Putting money into the statewide trafficking task force needs to happen. Even though it didn't happen in this amendment, it needs to happen in the next budget that is passed in our state. If we care about getting illegal guns off the streets to save lives, especially in our major cities, we need to put that in the budget. We need to address mental health also. These are the things that people want to see us do, and they want to see us work together to do it. What they don't want to see is artificial fixes and politics. The fact is that private firearm ownership makes the world a safer place. People stop crime just by owning firearms. I live in a rural district, and I will tell you that the reason why we don't have more break-ins and home invasions than we do is because anyone that would consider coming to my neighborhood probably would have to consider that myself or my neighbors are armed. That's just one example. When we start setting up places in our world like schools and saying, hey, there's no guns here, no one's going to stop you, I wouldn't say it's an invitation, but it's certainly not as much of a deterrent as a school resource officer would be to preventing something from bad happening in that school.